Chapter 12. The Passover and the Festival of Unleavened Bread. The Most High God spoke to Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt and said, "This month shall be to you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak to all the congregation of Israel and say, on the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to their father's houses, a lamb for a household. And if the household is too little for a lamb, then he and his neighbor next to his house shall take one according to the number of the souls. You shall make your count for the lamb according to what everyone can eat. Your lamb shall be without defect, a male a year old. You shall take it from the sheep or from the goats. You shall keep it until the 14th day of the same month, and the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it at evening. They shall take some of the blood and put it on the 2 doorposts and on the lintel, on the houses in which they shall eat. They shall eat the meat in that night, roasted with fire, with unleavened bread. They shall eat it with bitter herbs. Do not eat it raw, nor boiled at all with water, but roast it with fire, with its head, its legs, and its inner parts. You shall let nothing of it remain until the morning, but that which remains of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. This is how you shall eat it: with your belt on your waist, your sandals on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is the Most High God's Passover. For I will go through the land of Egypt in that night, and I will strike all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and animal. I will execute judgments against all the gods of Egypt. I am the Most High God. The blood shall be to you for a token on the houses where you are. When I see the blood, I shall pass over you, and no plague will be on you to destroy you when I strike the land of Egypt. This day shall be a memorial for you. You shall keep it as a feast to the Most High. You shall keep it as a feast throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put away yeast out of your houses. For whoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. In the first day there shall be to you a holy convocation, and in the 7th day a holy convocation. No kind of work shall be done in them, except that which every man must eat. Only that may be done by you. You shall observe the feast of unleavened bread. For in the same day I have brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore, you shall observe this day throughout your generations by an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 21st day of the month at evening. There shall be no yeast found in your houses for 7 days. For whoever eats that which is leavened that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he is a foreigner or one who is born in the land. You shall eat nothing leavened. In all your habitations you shall eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all of the elders of Israel and said to them, Draw out and take lambs according to your families and kill the Passover. You shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the two doorposts with the blood that is in the basin. And none of you shall go out of the door of his house until the morning. For the Most High God will pass through to strike the Egyptians. And when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the two doorposts, the Most High God will pass over the door and will not allow the destroyer to come into your houses to strike you. You shall observe this thing for an ordinance to you and to your sons forever. It shall happen when you have come to the land which the Most High God will give you as he promised, that you shall keep this service. It will happen when your children ask you, What do you mean by this service? Then you shall say, It is the sacrifice of the Most High God's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians and spared our houses. The people bowed their heads and worshipped. The children of Israel went and did so, just as the Most High God commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. At midnight, the Most High God struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on his throne, to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of livestock. Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants, and all of the Egyptians. And there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. The Exodus. He called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, Rise up, get out from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve the Most High God as you have said. Take both your flocks and your herds as you have said, and be gone and bless me also. The Egyptians were urgent with the people to send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We are all dead men. The people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes on their shoulders. The children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they asked of the Egyptians jewels of silver, jewels of gold, and clothing. The Most High God gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. So they plundered the Egyptians. The children of Israel traveled from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, who were men in addition to children. A mixed multitude went up also with them, with flocks, herds, and even very much livestock. They baked unleavened cakes of dough which they brought out of Egypt. for it wasn't leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and couldn't wait, and they had not prepared any food for themselves. Now the time that the children of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. At the end of 430 years, to the day, all the Most High God's armies went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed to the Most High God for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Most High God to be much observed by all the children of Israel throughout their generations. Passover restrictions. The Most High God said to Moses and Aaron, "This is the ordinance of the Passover. No foreigner shall eat it, but every manservant who is brought in for money, when you have circumcised him, then he shall eat it. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat it. It must be eaten in one house. You shall not carry any of the meat outside the house. Do not break any of its bones. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. When a stranger lives as a foreigner with you, and you would like to keep the Passover to the Most High, let all his males be circumcised, and then let him come near and keep it. He shall be as one who is born in the land, but no uncircumcised person shall eat it. One law shall be to him who is born at home, and to the stranger who lives as a foreigner among you." All the children of Israel did so, just as the Most High God commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. That same day, the Most High God brought the children of Israel out of Egypt by their armies. Chapter 13. Consecration of the firstborn. The Most High God spoke to Moses and said, "Sanctify to me all the firstborn. Whatever opens the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of animal, it is mine." Moses said to the people, "Remember this day in which you came out of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand, the Most High God brought you out from this place. No leavened bread shall be eaten. Today you go out in the month of Abib. It shall be that when the Most High God brings you into the land of the Canaanite, and the Hittite, and the Amorite, and the Hivite, and the Jebusite, which he swore to your fathers to give to you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread, and in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Most High. Unleavened bread shall be eaten throughout the 7 days, and no leavened bread shall be seen with you. No yeast shall be seen with you within all your borders. In that day you shall tell your son this: it is because of that which the Most High God did for me when I came out of Egypt. It shall be a sign to you on your hand, and for a memorial between your eyes, that the Most High God's law may be in your mouth. For with a strong hand, the Most High God has brought you out of Egypt. You shall keep this ordinance in its season from year to year. It shall be when the Most High God brings you into the land of the Canaanite, as he swore to you and to your fathers, and he will give it to you, so that you shall eat apart to the Most High God all that opens the womb, and every firstborn that comes from an animal in which you have. The males shall be the Most High God's. Every firstborn of a donkey you shall redeem with a lamb, and if you will not redeem it, then you shall break its neck. And you shall redeem all the firstborn of man among your sons. It shall be when your son asks you in that time to come, "What is this?" Then you shall tell him, "By the strength of hand of the Most High God, he brought us out of Egypt from the house of bondage. When Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, the Most High God killed all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of livestock. Therefore, I sacrifice to the Most High all that opens the womb, being males, but all the firstborn of my sons I redeem. It shall be for a sign on your hand, and for symbols between your eyes. For by strength of hand, the Most High God brought us out of Egypt." Crossing the Red Sea. When Pharaoh had let the people go, the Most High did not lead them by the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For the Most High God said, "Lest perhaps the people change their minds when they see war, and they return to Egypt." But the Most High God led the people around by the way of the wilderness, by the Red Sea. And the children of Israel went up armed out of the land of Egypt. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had made the children of Israel swear and said, "The Most High will surely visit you, and you shall carry up my bones away from here with you." They took their journey from Succoth and encamped in Etham, in the edge of the wilderness. The Most High went before them by day in a pillar of cloud to lead them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they might go by day and by night. The pillar of cloud by day and the pillar of fire by night did not depart from before the people. Chapter 14. The Most High God spoke to Moses and said, "Speak to the children of Israel, that they turn back and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdol and the sea, before Baal Zephon. You shall encamp opposite it by the sea. Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land. The wilderness has shut them in. But I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and he will follow after them. And I will get honor over Pharaoh and over all his armies. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Most High God. They did so. The king of Egypt was told that the people had fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants was changed toward the people. And they said, "What is this we have done, that we have let Israel go from serving us?" He prepared his chariot and took his army with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots, and all the chariots of Egypt, with captains over all of them. The Most High hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and he pursued the children of Israel. For the children of Israel went out with a high hand. The Egyptians pursued them. All the horses and chariots of Pharaoh, his horsemen and his army overtook them, encamping by the sea, by Pihahiroth, before Baal-Zephon. When Pharaoh came near, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians were marching after them, and they were very afraid. The children of Israel cried out to the Most High. They said to Moses, "Because there were no graves in Egypt, have you taken us away to die in the wilderness? Why have you treated us this way to bring us out of Egypt? Isn't this the word that we spoke to you in Egypt when we said, 'Leave us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians'? For it would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness." Moses said to his people, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Most High, which He will work for you today. For you will never see again the Egyptians whom you have seen today. The Most High God will fight for you, and you shall be still." The Most High God said to Moses, "Why do you cry to me? Speak to the children of Israel that they go forward. Lift up your rod and stretch out your hand over the sea and divide it. Then the children of Israel shall go into the middle of the sea on dry ground. Behold, I myself will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, and they will go in after them. I will get myself honor over Pharaoh and over all his armies, over his chariots and over his horsemen. The Egyptians shall know that I am the Most High God when I have gotten myself honor over Pharaoh, over his chariots and over his horsemen." The angel of the Most High, who went before the camp of Israel, moved and went behind them, and the pillar of cloud moved before them and stood behind them. It came between the camp of Egypt and the camp of Israel. There was a cloud and the darkness, yet it gave light by night. One did not come near the other all night. Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Most High God caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. The children of Israel went into the middle of the sea on the dry ground, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. The Egyptians pursued and went in after them into the middle of the sea. All of Pharaoh's horses his chariots and his horsemen. In the morning watch, the Most High God looked out on the Egyptian army through a pillar of fire and of cloud, and confused the Egyptian army. He took off their chariot wheels, and they drove them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, "Let's flee from the face of Israel." For the Most High God fights for them against the Egyptians. The Most High God said to Moses, "Stretch out your hand over the sea, that the waters may come again on the Egyptians, on their chariots, and on their horsemen." Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. The Most High overthrew the Egyptians in the middle of the sea. The waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, even all Pharaoh's army that went in after them into the sea. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked on dry land in the middle of the sea, and the waters were a wall to them on their right hand and on their left. Thus, the Most High saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Israel saw the Egyptians dead on the seashore. Israel saw the great work which the Most High God did to the Egyptians, and the people feared the Most High. And they believed in the Most High God and in his servant Moses. Chapter 15. The Song of Moses and Miriam. Then Moses and the children of Israel sang this song to the Most High God and said, "I will sing to the Most High, for he has triumphed gloriously. He has thrown the horse and his rider into the sea. The Most High is my strength and song. He has become my salvation. This is my God, and I will praise him, my father's God, and I will exalt him. The Most High God is a man of war. The Most High is his name. He has cast Pharaoh's chariots and his army into the sea. His chosen captains are sunk in the Red Sea. The deeps covered them. They went down into the depths like a stone. Your right hand, Most High God, is glorious in power. Your right hand, Most High God, dashes the enemy in pieces. In the greatness of your excellency, you overthrow those who rise up against you. You send out your wrath. It consumes them as stubble. With a blast of your nostrils, the waters were piled up. The floods stood upright as a heap. The deeps were congealed in the heart of the sea. The enemy said, I will pursue, I will overtake, I will divide the plunder. My desire will be satisfied on them. I will draw my sword, my hand will destroy them. You blew with your wind. The sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, Most High God among the gods? Who is like you, glorious in holiness, fearful in praises, doing wonders? You stretched out your hand, the earth swallowed them. You, in your loving kindness, have led the people that you have redeemed. You have guided them in your strength to your holy habitation. The peoples have heard, they tremble. Pangs have taken hold of the inhabitants of Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom were dismayed. Trembling takes hold of the mighty men of Moab. All the inhabitants of Canaan have melted away. Terror and dread falls on them. By the greatness of your arm, they are as still as stone, until your people pass over, O Most High God, until the people you have purchased pass over. You will bring them in and plant them in the mountain of your inheritance, the place, Most High God, which you have made for yourself to dwell in, the sanctuary, Lord, which your hands have established. The Most High God will reign forever and ever. For the horses of Pharaoh went in with his chariots and with his horsemen into the sea, and the Most High God brought back the waters of the sea on them. But the children of Israel walked on dry land in the middle of the sea. Miriam the prophetess, the sister of Aaron, took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines and with dances. Miriam answered them, "Sing to the Most High God, for he has triumphed gloriously. He has thrown the horse and his rider into the sea." The waters of Marah and Elim. Moses led Israel onward from the Red Sea, and they went out into the wilderness of Shur. And they went 3 days in the wilderness and found no water. When they came to Marah, they couldn't drink from the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore, its name was called Marah. The people murmured against Moses and said, "What shall we drink?" Then he cried to the Most High. The Most High showed him a tree, and he threw it into the waters, and the waters were made sweet. There he made a statute and an ordinance for them, and there he tested them. He said, "If you will diligently listen to the Most High your God's voice, and will do that which is right in his eyes, and will pay attention to his commandments and keep all his statutes, I will put none of the diseases on you which I have put on the Egyptians. For I am the Most High God who heals you." They came to Elim, where there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees. They encamped there by the waters. Chapter 16. Manna and Quail. They took their journey from Elim, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came to the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they were brought out of Egypt. The whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and against Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, "We wish that we had died by the Most High God's hand in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the meat pots, when we ate our fill of bread. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger." Then the Most High God said to Moses, "Behold, I will rain bread from the sky for you, and the people shall go out and gather a day's portion each day, that I might test them whether they will walk in my law or not. It shall come to pass on the 6th day that they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily." Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, "At evening you shall know that the Most High God has brought you out from the land of Egypt. In the morning you shall see the Most High's glory, because he hears your murmurings against him. Who are we that you murmur against us?" Moses said, "Now the Most High will give you meat to eat in the evening, and in the morning bread to satisfy you, because the Most High God hears your murmurings which you murmur against him. And who are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Most High." Moses said to Aaron, "Tell all the congregation of the children of Israel, come close to the Most High God, for he has heard your murmurings." As Aaron spoke to the whole congregation of the children of Israel, they looked toward the wilderness, and behold, the Most High God's glory appeared in the cloud. The Most High God spoke to Moses and said, "I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak to them and say, at evening you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread. Then you will know that I am the Most High your God." In the evening, quail came up and covered the camp. And in the morning, the dew lay around the camp. When the dew that lay had gone, behold, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round thing, small as the frost on the ground. When the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, "What is it?" For they didn't know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread which the Most High has given you to eat. This is the thing which the Most High has commanded. Gather of it every one according to his eating, an omer ahead, according to the number of your persons. You shall take it, every man for those who were in his tent." The children of Israel did so, and some gathered more and some less. When they measured it with an omer, he who gathered much had nothing over, and he who gathered little had no lack. They each gathered according to his eating. Moses said to them, "Let no one leave of it till the morning." Notwithstanding, they did not listen to Moses, but some of them left of it until the morning. So it bred worms and became foul. And Moses was angry with them. They gathered it morning by morning, everyone according to his eating. When the sun grew hot, it melted. On the 6th day, they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for each one. And all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses. He said to them, "This is that which the Most High has spoken. Tomorrow is a solemn rest, a holy Sabbath to the Most High. Bake that which you want to bake, and boil that which you want to boil, and all that remains over, lay up for yourselves to be kept until morning." They laid it up until the morning, just as Moses ordered, and it did not become foul, and there were no worms in it. Moses said, "Eat that today, for today is a Sabbath to the Most High. Today you shall not find it in the field. 6 days you shall gather it, but on the 7th day is the Sabbath. In it there shall be none." On the 7th day, some of the people went out to gather, and they found none. The Most High God said to Moses, "How long do you refuse to keep my commandments and laws? Behold, because the Most High God has given you the Sabbath. Therefore, he gives you on the 6th day the bread of 2 days. Everyone stay in his place. Let no one go out of his place on the 7th day." So the people rested on the 7th day. The house of Israel called its name manna, and it was like coriander seed, white, and its taste was like wafers with honey. Moses said, "This is the thing which the Most High God has commanded. Let an omer full of it be kept throughout your generations, that they may see the bread with which I fed you in the wilderness, when I brought you out the land of Egypt." Moses said to Aaron, "Take a pot and put an omer full of manna in it, and lay it up before the Most High God, to be kept throughout your generations." Just as the Most High God commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. The children of Israel ate the manna 40 years, until they came to an inhabited land. They ate the manna until they came to the borders of the land of Canaan. Now, an omer is 1/10 of an ephah.